Okay, hello everybody. It is Dana coming to you, and I'm so excited to be here. Happy Thursday. I'm here with my friend Candace, friend and business partner Candace, and we are just excited. We're having conversations back and forth, and we're learning and relearning together and thought, you know what, let's just jump on live and talk about this because there's so many people of our vintage, old and older and younger, who've been part of network marketing, and some are still here. Some are not a part of the profession anymore. Some want to be a part of the profession, but are hesitant to come back because of different things. And that's what we're going to have a conversation about today, and just share a little bit about what Candace and I have been up to too. So some lessons that we've learned along the way and what we're excited about. And if you don't know Candace, she has 38 years of experience in network marketing. She is a badass. She is, the first one to tell you that she is still learning. And also, I really think, and Candace, you can give me your thoughts on this. I really feel like this keeps me young, keeps my brain working. There used to be this notion of retirement and where you sit in a rocking chair and kind of take it easy. And, we know now that that's not good for our brains. We need some kind of purpose or intention or passion. And I just feel so blessed that even after all this time, 26 years for me, that I'm excited and want to learn more and want to continue to serve. So what do you think? What are your thoughts there?
Well, first of all, I love being called a badass, but I think that's exactly what you are too, because we started this whole thing pretty much in the same company at the same time, and you were always someone that I was like, man, I would love the opportunity to partner with her. And it's taken a few little chapters to make that happen, but I'm so excited that it's here because, again, I don't want to stop learning. You're exactly the same way, like that. You're out here learning like you're brand new, but experienced, which I love. And I love what you said about the retirement, because I honestly don't know what I would do in retirement. And I think that, this keeps me young. My grandkids keep me young. Those are the two things that keep me young. And I love that, you can put those together, do them anywhere, any place, because this is different. So different than, quitting or being in a 9-to-5 job where you're like, I'm going to stick there, but you want to get out because you don't have any freedom, any flexibility.
Yeah.
And this totally gives you that. I'll stay doing this forever because I can do it on a beach, or I can do it from Disneyland, or I can do it on a cruise. I can do it anywhere. And that's what I think makes this so beautiful. So, retirement doesn't look the same as it used to. Like, at 65 retiring, man, I can't even imagine. That's like not very many years away for me. That'd be silly. And this gives me that opportunity to still feel like I'm contributing. Because for me, I don't know about you, Dana, but for me, that's been one of the biggest shifts as I age is, and my kids grow up and you don't have that sense of purpose anymore of a mom. I'm like, how do I still contribute? How do I still make an impact in the world?
Yeah.
And this has really filled my cup for that.
Definitely. And also thinking back, I mean, we are examples for our children. I don't have grandchildren yet, though for your granddaughters, you are an example for them to see you working and building a business. I mean, there's just so many ripples to, working from home and having something that you can spend time on and also does good in the world. So one of the things I wanted to ask you is, when you think back to when we first started compared with where we are today, what's the biggest change you've seen in this profession?
Oh, man. Now, remember, I started back in 1989. There was no internet. There was no, nothing was done on computer. It was the old pen and paper. Every meeting was still in person every week.
Yeah.
So, but what's interesting is over those years, I've seen it, it's just been such a interesting journey because it's changed. Like we've gone one direction, then we've pivoted back to another direction, another direction, another direction. But definitely for me, what's changed the most is I think we have the opportunity now to cast a vision for people much earlier because people are seeing this more as a profession than ever before. When I started back in the day, it was still a fun way for women to get together. That's what I witnessed with my mom having home parties. And nobody really talked about it being a profession or a career choice or a real way you could, finance your family and create income that was really incremental. I mean, you did it, Dana, for years. And I think that's the biggest shift now. It's no longer a way for women to get together and have a little party. It is now like, this is a real profession. We, like you said, we continue to learn. We go to trainings, we go to seminars, we do all of that. And if you step into it from that position, from that posture from the start, which I wish I would have back then, I didn't really see the vision. I started in 1989. I didn't really see the vision till 2007 when I was at a conference and I was silly enough to say to the keynote speaker, how do I get less business? Because I'm too busy and I still work full time. And she was like, why are you working full time? And I was like, okay, I never even saw that as an option.
Yeah.
And within that year, I left the mainstream working world, and this turned into my profession because it was just that one little thing that shifted. Like, this can be real. What you're trying to slow down business? In what world does that even make sense? So I think just the way people come into this now and what they can do from very early on versus the vision that was cast. Was it cast for you that this could be really what it turned out to be?
Well, with you saying that, it's interesting because my mom was also involved in a couple companies when I was younger. And I remember now one of her leaders, her name was Debbie. And Debbie, she worked this company full time. Like, she was doing it. And at one point, I even went into she asked me to come, and I went through like her Rolodex and called people to invite them to an event. Like, I'm just having this memory. My mom is here visiting, so we'll chat about it after. But so that was presented to me. I did see women achieving that. However, when this was first presented to me, like my first company, I never thought. I was like, no, that's not for me. You've got to be pushy. You've got to pressure people. And that simply came from my own insecurities at the time. I know that now. And also from being at a couple of home parties and really not having any money. Like, I went with a budget of $20. So I was scanning the catalog for the cheapest thing in the catalog, which at the time was like a candle, like a candle. And so it's interesting to look back, and now I know that version of myself was just not equipped to see, and the person who was doing that particular party just wasn't trained. Or maybe they were trained in that way to pressure, oh, well, if you don't have the money, then join, and like all of these things. So yeah, it really is a full circle. And also, the beautiful thing about jumping in and giving it a try way back then was that I was able to go out, educate myself, learn, different skills, communication, all kinds of skills, people skills, and go into people's homes. Like, think about it. I was in people's homes. You were in people's homes 3-4 times a week, sometimes more than that. And really building those relationships and really getting to know people. And that's one of the things I think in this, last era I've missed. And that's also one of the things that we're, I know we're both talking about and taking more time to really get to know people. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think that was kind of what I was talking about, how things go around. Like we
Yeah.
were solely just in people's homes. Then, the world shut down and we became solely just Zoom and, this kind of
Yeah.
thing. And I think we're coming out of that now. And I'm super excited about the opportunity to meet belly to belly with people again, and now I think we have the advantage of having both.
Yeah.
Like it was either or for so long. And
Mhm.
now we have a really good grasp on how to meet people, behind a computer. But we also have the opportunity to bring back that beautiful piece of belly to belly, face to face, and being in the same room with people. And I just, as you were talking, I thought about one more thing, like why I love this opportunity so much. You were talking about my little granddaughter seeing me build. And most importantly, they get to see, and I think this is what our kids see, that we are constantly evolving and that life is constantly changing. And it's okay when hard things happen, and you have the skills and the life skills and the personal development to figure out your way through it. Not easy, but you still are able to find your way through it. And that's a lesson I want to, a legacy lesson, I think, for women, especially, I think,
Mhm.
and young girls
Definitely.
growing
That
up.
ability to pivot and to, and make choices. Like that's what's great too, is I think there's far more choices just in general for women as well. So I know one of the things too that is, change for me, because in the past it was just more people, more people, more people. And now it's, I'm really intentionally tracking who I'm talking to. And it's not because, more conversations. It's, I don't want to miss anybody. I don't want to forget anybody. And maybe that's an age thing too, is that I want to, those people that I am having conversations with and touching, I want to make sure I'm really intentional about that as well.
Yeah. I love that you're saying this. And we were talking about it the other night. I'm just going to bring it out to the open because I think anybody watching that's been in this profession has been down this road. We were talking about quality over quantity. For so many years. It's been the go get 100 no's, go get, like, that is not personal. That is not relationship building. That is just, that's a machine, like going through the numbers when you're, like sitting with your little counter. And that's really been the ick for me in this industry a lot. That, and Bryn's watching us. She said hello. Her and I were talking about this the other day too, that there's that, for a lot of us who've been around for a long time, that idea of more and more and not quality has been beaten into us for so long. And I think for a lot of people who, like you said, have been sitting here thinking, do I want to, would I go do this again? I think those are the things that are stopping people from considering it, because that's the norm. That's unfortunately the downside of our profession, those old school beliefs of that's the only way of doing it. And I find it so refreshing for the first time ever to be partnered with a company that, and a leadership team and a CEO that just couldn't be further from that. Quality relationships, build those quality relationships, talk to people, make an impact. Don't look at them as I used to say this in our previous company to my team, don't look at people like their face is a wallet. Like, I think we see people and we think wallet, wallet, wallet. This is a person, relationship, profession. And whether that person ends up purchasing from you or not is really irrelevant. It's the relationship that you build. And that's a lesson that I wish would have been taught to me much earlier, and that it was okay. I think I've always been that way. I think you've always been that way.
Yeah.
And I think we start to get trained.
Yeah.
And when the training starts,
oh my gosh.
Bob Healing's, I think every live I do, I bring up Bob Healing, but he said this to me. Like, what happens is you start to get trained and it moves you away from your true calling and who you are to what the industry wants you to be.
Yeah.
And
oh, definitely. Definitely. And I can remember thinking, I don't know if this is for me, because this, but you figure it out a way. Certainly I feel like I've figured out a way back then to not do it my way, but to do it in a way that was still in alignment with who I am. So it's fascinating. We could chat and chat and chat, but
Oops. You're frozen on me. Are you frozen on me? Or am I frozen on you?
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Oh, okay. It may be my obviously it's my internet, but the other thing I wanted to touch on, Candice, is just and we've heard it a few times, that there's a trust recession. Like, we want people to trust us, and in order to trust somebody, I need to get to know somebody.
Yeah.
And so that's why I know we're spending more time on really wanting to get to know people, asking questions, and not just, throwing a link up or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, when I heard that trust recession thing, I was like, that's what I've been feeling for so long and didn't have the words for. Because again, and I'm not trying to bash our industry, but there's a lot of things that have damaged what we do and make it harder for us to be authentic. And that trust recession has come from that of quick money. Come in and everyone will buy from you, and you don't need to put any time in. Those myths and I've been guilty of selling them myself, because that's what we were taught to do.
Yeah.
But finally finding a place where that is not what we're promoting, that is not what we're sharing, that really, I think that people like myself and you and a lot of us that have been here for a long time, that have that following, we have built that trust with people.
Yeah.
Now we're kind of working more against the trust of our profession.
Yeah.
And I feel very strong about putting a different face on what we do, because I love what we do. I love the potential of our profession, but I also see how there's been so much myths, and they're still happening today, where people are promising you a get rich quick scheme and buy your kit and go sell it to your friends. And that doesn't happen the way we think it's going to happen. It never happens the way we think we're going to happen. So this trust recession, we really do have to, and this is where I think getting belly to belly, face to face with people is going to be really a pivotal moment right now for where we are, because being able to see someone face to face and feel their energy and that makes a difference.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I want to just shift a little bit here and talk about, because something I wasn't expecting about building again is that previous success doesn't mean you automatically feel confident doing everything again. So, and I'm sure other people, even not in network marketing, can relate to this, in that there are times and seasons in your life you feel really confident about your skill sets, about what you're doing. And then there are times when you don't feel as confident. So I know for me, there are skills that I am going back and really consciously practicing that I haven't had to practice in, probably 10 years. Conversations, follow-up systems, consistency, all of those types of things. But for me, I have to remember that just because I need to practice, it doesn't erase what I've already learned and done. It's like re-tapping into that. What are you like? Is there things about building again that's humbled you or required you to learn differently?
Well, and I think for me, I love what you said about tapping into those old skills again and giving them a brush up and working on them. But I also think the other side of that is, for a lot of us, feeling like, do I admit that I'm starting over again?
Yeah.
And all of the emotions and things that we start saying to ourselves, like, I'm this age, I've been in it for 38 years, people are seeing me start over again. And for me, it chipped away at my confidence. It chipped away at stepping into the experience that I have and actually sharing it, because there was that little voice in my head saying, if you were really good at this, you wouldn't be starting over again. Not considering all of the outside things that have played a part in me starting over again. And so I agree. I think there's that. is such a huge part for a lot of people who've been in the profession for a long time. What will it look like if I'm starting over again?
Yeah.
And there's really successful people who have been in that position. And I think it's even more pervasive in network marketing than it is if I started a new 9-to-5 job. Like if I left a 9-to-5 job for a better opportunity, nobody would ever consider that like you're not very good at what you're doing because you're moving somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yet there's that perception here that if I left a company, and maybe because it is so relationship focused, that if I leave a company, it must be because I failed. And sometimes, I know for both of us, this is something that I've come to the realization, and we were with a company for a really, really long time. And I'm going to be honest with you, I thought that was going to be my forever place. Like I never even considered that I would have to do something else. Then things happened, company happened, you get out of alignment. It doesn't feel good anymore. And then you make a move. And I've made a few moves in the last few years, but it's taken me time to figure out what fits for me. And so instead of looking at those things as a failure, which is what I was doing, like, oh my God, I went there and then I went there and people see me go this and this and this. I was like trying on clothes in the dressing room, man. I was trying to figure out what speaks to me, and so I've made that shift from experience never expires. Like what I've been learning for 38 years, man, I need to bring that to the table loud and proud. Same with you. And there's nothing, it takes more courage to say, I'm going to build again and do it again and go one more time. And I think for both of us, I won't speak for you, but for me, it's because I love this freaking profession so much. I can't even picture what else I would do if I didn't.
I know.
Like, I can't even imagine what out in the workforce would even put this much in my cup, let alone what I get from here.
Yeah.
So I just decided this is a new opportunity that took me some time to find. And I bring all of those each of those experiences that I did, I feel like those were my, my doctorate and my all the master's degrees and everything that you get along the way. That was what it was for me. And I'm no longer shying away from, I have 38 years of experience. You should listen to me.
Yeah.
And you should listen to someone with 26 years of experience who was at the tippy of the company.
Yeah.
Not just because we're building again, but because we have what it takes to build again.
Yeah. And it's a beautiful reframe to put it that way. And you're absolutely right. In any other, corporation or in the business world, it would be deemed as you're taking your skill set with you to something else bigger and better. And that sometimes there's lateral moves that we didn't expect to be lateral moves or whatever the case may be. And I'm no longer shying away from that either, or feeling kind of embarrassed or even ashamed of making a move. I mean, I made a move after 24 years and guess what? The company closed after 6 months. So that was pretty smart for me to do that. And so I guess that is something that we're doing differently too, because I know for me, I judge people who left initially. And now when I see somebody make a move, I think, you know what? There is a reason, and it is not for me to judge or even try to understand unless I know that person and I'm going to go ask them directly. So,
and if it's someone you respect, maybe ask the question, what are they seeing that I'm not seeing?
Yeah,
because
exactly.
If you respected them before the move, what's changed?
Yeah. True. Good point. So, now one of the things I wanted to also talk about is that, like we've already talked about, neither one of us, needed another company just so we could say we had something to build. So I want to talk about why we're here. And after 38 years of what you've seen in this profession and experience, Candace, what made you look at Frequence and say, okay, I'm excited and I'm going to jump into this?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's a loaded question. But, really, like I said, I had left a company that I thought I was going to be at for a long time, and I've had to find my footing along the way. And some, some things, like you said, were a step forward, some were a step back, some just didn't fit. I wasn't feeling, I wasn't feeling it. That's what it came down to. I wasn't feeling the people. I wasn't feeling the mission. I wasn't feeling, they're good products. I have nothing against any of the products that I represented. I think they all have a place in one place or another. But for me, I really want to tap into a mission. And it was almost like when this came to me within the first two sentences, I was like, this is it. And so I jumped in for a variety of reasons. I was excited about, the products and what that could do. And then the mission and what they really want to do in the world. And when I hear our CEOs, Barb and Dave Pidcock, talk and how they're, running things here and how it's just throughout all the entire field, the corporate office, you start to see what was missing in the other companies that you were in. You start to see the holes that you were looking for. And it's not anything against those companies. Maybe another person wouldn't see the same thing I did. But for me, I started to see the difference between how these people see the field and all the other companies saw us. And, I feel, for the first time in a really long time, maybe ever, I feel like they look at my 38 years experience and they're like, wow, this person brings something to the table. Whereas a lot of times you end up feeling like I got to fit into the cutout of everybody else. And so for me, it was really just a feeling of like, and we've been here, almost 3 months now, and any other company I've ever been in, some end of May. Any other company I've ever been in, I've always at this point had a few things that I was like, I don't, that part of it isn't for me. That I get that, but I really love this over here, so I'm going to stick with this over here. And it's the complete opposite here. Like I haven't had that feeling at all. The more I learn, the more I'm like, how do I incorporate that? How do I incorporate that? And to me, that's just a really exciting place to be. I've been this excited probably about what I'm doing for, I would say, 2 decades.
Yeah. And I mean, that goes a long way. And I'm right there with you. I know we share that passion for mission, and it's interesting because I didn't realize how important that was for me until I heard the mission here, though that really reminded me of my first company and how that was so mission driven. So that is one of the things. Also, what I'm really excited about is because it's a movement, it's a feel good now movement. And there's so many people in the world who are not feeling good. And with the products that we have to offer, I mean, people feeling, we just had Pam who, I shared with you, tried the product and she's like, oh my gosh, the energy, my brain fog, and I got more done and more productive. And so that somebody can have a product, not everybody has a product experience right off the bat like that, but a lot of people do. And I think, certainly for me, it has just the simplicity of the products that are offered, the simplicity, yet with the harmonic frequencies, just elevating that. It is a game changer, and that we are the first company to do something like this. And Frequence is the vehicle, yet we are the ones who are taking this worldwide. I mean, that just gives me freaking goosebumps that, we're in so many, a number of countries already and building even more. And to be at the very start of this lane is so super exciting. And frequency healing and all of these types of things that are becoming more and more mainstream, like they're just starting to pick up. And kudos to those people who've known about frequency healing for 10, 20, 30 years and more. Like, it is really something.
Yeah. And aren't you surprised at how many people are like, oh yeah, I love that stuff. Like not the I don't know anything about that. I mean, we get that too, but I'm shocked at how many people are like, oh yeah, I've been practicing that for so long or doing that. And
Yes.
I really love how they're not just focused on supplements. They're not just focused on oils. They're not just
Yeah.
focused on skin care. They have it all. Like they're, and I know we're not done creating categories of products yet because you can frequency charge pretty much anything, I think, and charge nutrition, charged essential oils, charge jewelry, you know, where you can block those electronic magnetic fields that are coming at us every day. You can, you know, use your straw and you can, you know, take supplements if you want to. That opportunity, it just broadens who you can help versus just sharing, you know, sharing one kind of category of products. And if people aren't interested in that, you can't help them. There's so many ways you can help them. And like you said, frequency healing is just coming, you know, I think back over my life journey and I used it in a really important part of my life back 10, 15 years ago that I didn't even realize I was using it.
Yeah.
But you know, it's as simple as raising your vibration through being outside and putting your feet on the ground,
Yeah.
watching funny movies and laughing, anything that, you know, listening to good music. Those are kind of the bare basics. And then when you can add actually tuned products that are tuned to 200 hertz to raise that frequency, you're doing all those things anyways. And then you add this on top, man, it's crazy.
Okay, I want to hear what is your favorite product or product experience so far?
Ugh, it keeps shifting. I would have, you know, a week ago, I would have said Rise and Source and Reverse because those are incredible. This week, I would say the essential oils. And like, I've got a bag of essential oils sitting on my counter over there that I've had for years and I've used, and empty bottles that I've gone through. And, you know, I kind of did it to go through the motions.
Yeah.
Because I know they're good. And then I have been feeling under the weather and I had all of these oils sitting on my bedside table and I was kind of flirting with them, I would say, but I wasn't like really like, what can they do? And then we got on a call with our CEO who they've spent decades in the essential oil space. And she started explaining these and I was like, man, that would help me with this and this and this. So the things that the essential oils have done for me, like I literally have been under the weather and and I'm not saying this cured, I'm not, you know, not treating you. This is just my experience only. But I've been under the weather and I had a huge gland here that literally when I did that, I could see the bump. And we were on that call and Barb was talking about the Soothe roller ball and what's in it and what it does for, you know, lymph nodes and stuff like that. So I went to bed and I put it all the way down my lymph nodes. I did a little Google search, where are all my lymph nodes? And I put it anywhere there was a lymph node. And I woke up in the morning and that gland is like, it's back to normal again. Yeah. That is just my experience. I'm not telling you to not go see your doctor or do any of that stuff. But I was like, holy man, that is incremental. So now I have 5 of them and I'm using them every day. And the breathe one, because I was all congested, I couldn't breathe. It's a game changer. So right now I would have to say the essential oils, though. I mean, my Rise is never far from my hand. None of that is. My lip balm is right here. That's charged, my straw. So I love it all. How about you? What's your most favorite thing right now?
Well, interesting because the essential oils, I won't go into it, but my mom has had this cough, had this, you know, breathing since she's been here about 2 weeks now. And when I heard Barb too say that, because I have some of the essential oils, I was like, okay, Mom, here's what we're going to do. And anyway, yesterday she said, okay, so that's been about 3 days that maybe 4 days that she's been using it. And so that has helped her not coughing. She was coughing. And, you know, that just was exhausting her. So that's been amazing. But for me, it is the Rise. I've already finished mine. The Rise and the Source. If you watch my stories, you see me taking it every morning. And that is, you know, not only is it good for our mental health, for our physical health. I mean, it's minerals in, helps to detox the body, all the things, gut health, bone health, you can ask us for information, but just seeing, like, there's so much information out there about nervous system and how important really paying attention to our nervous system and how that impacts our whole body, right? And how our body functions. And so for me, that has been amazing to just really look at how am I feeling and how am I operating throughout the day. Talking to a mom who has been taking it where she would have, she said I would lose it on my kids. And now I'm not, I'm calmer. I'm able to function throughout the day. So that has been amazing. And then the reverse, which I know has helped me sleep at night for sure. Again, there's many more things that go along with that, but just excited for the simplicity and then learning more about the harmonic frequencies and how there's elite athletes who are, doing, when they get injured, it's frequency healing and all of these different things. So,
and I think we've been fed a load of baloney where most of us have been told we need more energy, we need more this, we need a drink to kick us in the butt.
Yeah.
And I think what we do here that is so subtle, and so we actually, I don't think any of us need more energy. We need more calm.
Yeah.
We need more peace. And that is the theme I hear most from people, that they don't even notice. I'm like, okay, I didn't notice anything today. And I'm like, so did you feel like you didn't get as upset with things that, and they're like, well, yeah, I did notice that. This is, what I said to my husband is, because we both noticed it, is we still have the same problems we had before, but the lens we're looking through them now is calm and peaceful. And, this world of the state of overwhelm we live in is because we are caught in the cycle of, ooh, we don't need more. We don't need another spike. We need something that says, breathe.
Yes.
And to me, that's what frequency charged products do. They say, breathe. Just breathe.
Yeah. 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 Incredible. Okay. So as we wrap this up, one of the questions I really wanted to ask you, Candace, is, you've been here that's almost 40 years. It's crazy. No. But why are you willing to, and I believe we've covered it, but really, why are you willing to build again?
Because people need it more now than ever.
Yeah.
And it's not about building a team for me. It's about how many people are struggling with exactly what we've talked about. Most people are living at the edge of their ability to function. Yeah. And I believe that we have our hands on, I won't say the only thing, but right now, the only thing that I have found that can give people that sense of calm and peace. And for those that are willing to try it, and really experience it without looking for the quick fix, you're going to notice a long-term impact for yourself where you're just going to, I believe, feel the best mentally, because I think that's what we're really talking about here. Everybody talks about their physical issues. Most of us have to deal with this first, what's going on in here. And if we can start to get a grasp on that, my cousin said it beautifully. She said, I feel the joys better. I feel the sadness better. I feel plugged in where I've not felt plugged in for a long time. Mm-hmm. And to me, I was like, how many people are living on the outside of being plugged in? Like you're just looking from the outside in.
Yeah.
And that's not a fun place to be.
Yeah. And you just made me feel, think about, looking for that quick fix. And I think we all know it doesn't exist, but yet we're still thinking, okay, it's got to be out there. It's got to be out there. I've got to try it. And just really thinking about what does my body need? And that's why I love the source. Those minerals and things that we don't get on the regular from our food, because our food is not grown in the same way it was 50, 60, 70 years ago. And so just at a base level, getting to the root of what is happening. And I know for me, I just jotted down a couple things as you were talking here, Candace. You know, why am I still here is because I know what this profession can create. And I know what this type of business can do for people because I've lived it and I've watched women come in, you know, and some of them came in to make enough money for their kids to have a trampoline and pay for hockey. And that is a beautiful thing when they don't have to go and get a part-time job. Some people came in to pay for Christmas. And, you know, just what this business can do in terms of confidence and self-esteem and really improving yourself. There is nothing like it. Like you would have to take a course on or a degree on personal and professional development.
And what that gives to your family. Like it's the ripple effect, right? It's not just what as we take these things in, we take them home.
Yeah.
And we start living from that place. And our kids see that. And I can see that in my adult children. I'm sure you can too. Things that I don't think they would believe or feel or have the courage to do if they hadn't been exposed to some of the things that I was blessed to be exposed to from this profession.
Yeah. Well, and it's different. It really is. I grew up with parents who worked, 8 to 4:30. It is a different way of looking at things. And you just, went and they created a beautiful life for us. But entrepreneurship is different at any level that you do it, and requiring you to really examine what's holding me back and what patterns am I keep repeating and all of those. I mean, we could have a conversation just on that, but I'm not sure exactly what time we're at, but I wanted to just wrap it up here. And thank you so much, Candace, for joining me here. We just feel there's important conversations. We're women who have been a part of this profession for a long time, and we just want to encourage people to take a look because there is so much that can be done. And it's such a beautiful profession to be a part of. And if you're curious about what we're doing here, you can reach out. I mean, curiosity, we love that, to learn more. And did you want to add anything, Candace?
No, I would say if you, like, so many people have been in it and are like, I just don't know that I can do it again. And I get it. I couldn't do it again the way we were doing it either.
Yeah.
And I get that. It's not burnt out. It's trauma. It's hurt. It's all the things. And this is definitely different. I hate that word different because everybody's different.
Yeah.
But this is unique in that. And, how Dana and I are leading is different as well. So if you're looking to partner with people who are seeing this from a different perspective, but still bringing all the beautiful experience, it's worth a conversation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us. If you are catching the replay, please #replay. And we will see you next time. Bye.